we don't have any authentic version of Quran as such. I'll tell you the reason for this. Because Quran has gone through a lot of transformation, a lot of changes has happened, and the Quran was canonized or standardized only for the world in 1985. That is only 3 years before I was born. So it's only 3 year old to me. So, and this Quran was a Hafs Quran. This Hafs Quran was something which was conceived in the 10th century, and it is a different version. And the story goes back then to Cairo in 1924, when what happened? The whole Islamic University used to have the question on the Islamic theology and the stuff like that. And when people used to have different answer to the question, because there were different versions of Quran, right? So then they say that we need to make a Quran standard. So they choose a Hafs Quran, and in 1924 it was adapted in the Egypt, and the same Hafs was later adopted for the world. So we have multiple versions of Quran written by multiple people, and that the question what you're pointing to, it really creates serious problem, and it really raises a concern that the text which itself is not standardized. And if you ask an Islamic scholar that if I give you a blank paper, which version of Quran will you write, he will not be able to answer. He will either dodge it, or he will either just bluff it around that you don't know the Arabic. So that will happen. But no one on the earth can write a standard version of Quran for you. No one, no a single Islamic scholar, whoever it may be. I can put it on record. As far as the Bible are concerned, yes, we have some very authentic records which are which are now available to the archives of the British Library. We can get it online, and these are very much easily accessible. But again, there are various versions of it. And but what is one good thing is there in Bible, that when they did the corrections or mistakes were put across, so you can see that when the additions happen, they are written in some different kind of font or something like that. So you can see that where it happened. But when it comes to Quran, you just can't make out where the alterations were made. Where And there have been some very amazing studies where people have worked on the old manuscripts of Quran to see that how much overwriting had happened, and how much just they used to just erase it off and do a rewriting over it. There used to be a patchwork, and those have been documented. So it's very tough to find, and because it's very tough to find authentic version of Quran, it's very tough to really say that how good Muslim you are, because a Muslim needs to be defined by a Quran per se, the way it goes, and because it's a kind of a circle, and Quran itself is not defined, so it becomes very challenging. We don't know anything as such. So yes, I didn't wanted to say it, but of course this faith is having some serious problem because of the way the scriptures went ahead. Maybe something, I don't know what would be the way forward. Way forward only would be to bring the original history forward and let people accept that okay, it's your version, that's okay. It's your version, it's okay. But there won't be any concentrated idea of it, because there was no concentrated idea back then in 7th century, and we don't have a record of it. Coming back to the first part of it, it's very serious that the kind of conversion and the thing what we face through, and there's a fundamental reason to it, and I had explained it last time when I did the talk. I started off by saying that how this idea of the Abrahamic faith started, and the root goes back to the Surajan youth, right? When the first migration happened, and then further a battle happened, and the battle was based on the ideas, because our dharmic idea was something different. The people differed, and when Raja Sudas came into being, and there was a migration which happened outward, and the people in the Persia, and the people who started following the Zoroastrianism. And interestingly, the Zoroastrians too had a cyclic time initially. They also had the yugas initially. And when this happened, that further got corrupted to the Abrahamism. And then from Abrahamism, we also see that Jewish faith also did emerge out of first Yahwahism. First there was Yahwahism. Then Yahwahism were idea where Yahweh was considered as a god, and rest all god were, considered those gods are also important, until it became Abrahamic. It became the Jew faith completely. Then Yahweh became the only god, and there is no other god, and something like that. And it happened around 1200 BC or something. And now all these ideas were very political in nature. after that, whatever it emerged, like how I narrated you the story of how Islam was happening and how this all things. You see a lot of politics over there, the control of the power, and you see that there are various kind of Christians who are not seeing Jesus as a son of God, are living very happily under the caliphs, while others are not. So there also we see a sense of so-called secularism, what people often talk about. The sense of secularism comes because only idea that one who agrees to the idea of Antichrist, they will go by them. Now, because of their political power, they keep on expanding and they have to expand. And their doctrines are set that way because when you have got a political power, you will have a doctrine to control a thing. Like Marxism is a political power. So they do also have a doctrine. They need to work that way. And it is said that you have to spread because in politics, there is nothing but the growth. In Dharma, there is nothing called growth. Dharma is something which is very constant. So that is how we differ from them. Dharma is very and just to differ, just to give a very different kind of analogy, feminism is a political movement, while naritva is a very permanent thing which is always there. So this isms erupt. So like that, these guys, whoever are on the verge of conversion, they are following a political idea. So they will like to grow, and their growth model will be very unnatural because this is not dharma. Dharma is very natural. So they will, and to counter it, we really need to reinforce back to our ideas that of course we have seen a disaster, but there is of course something that we are still chanting the Rig Veda, which was written millenniums back. We still are the country. No other civilization had this legacy. We have done it, and we can still do it. And it will only happen if we can still go back to the roots. Like a kid, I always say a kid needs to be told when it goes to in a standard 11 that the calculus was given by Madhavacharya from Kerala. It's not Newton and Leibniz. He will start getting accentuated towards our dharmic values, and when we get accentuated toward dharmic values, the things will better. In Southeast Asia, we had spread while others were doing the crusades. How? Through the soft power. Singapore takes the name Singapura by. So there's a lot of soft power in our whole idea. So it will happen. We will have to really rectify ourselves. We are at the fault right now.